All right, we're ready to get started here. So, my name is Maka, and I want to welcome you to this webinar today. We're going to go on for about 20, 30 minutes, and before this webinar ends, I'm going to show you how to break into the UX industry without paying $15,000. So, how many of you want to know how to become a UX designer? Right? So, first, I want you to make me a promise. Once this webinar is over, if you found this information useful, you will take action. Because really, there isn't much standing between you and being able to pursue this new career path. And, I just have to say this just because you watch this webinar does not mean you'll become a UX designer overnight. It does take work. What I'm saying is that this framework that I'm about to show you will make it significantly easier for you to become a designer. And if you stay until the end, I have a gift for you guys. So I created the How to Land a UX Job checklist, and I'm going to give this to you as a gift for free, just for staying until the end. No need to pay, just stay until the end. So if it's okay with you all, I'd love to just tell you all a little bit about myself. So like I said, my name is Maka, and I've been in this field for over 5 years. This is me having a mezcalita, which I recently just learned is a mezcal margarita, at this beautiful rooftop restaurant that I go to pretty often these days. And these are just some of the companies that I've done design work for over the last couple years. But it wasn't always like this, right? I wasn't always, doing work for IBM or PwC or John Deere or Microsoft, all of these big names. About I don't know, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, I graduated from university and with an engineering degree, right? I came from an unrelated background. Like a lot of you, I did not study design in college. So this is actually a picture of my graduation cap. All throughout undergrad, I wanted to work for Boeing, creating planes. So I studied mechanical engineering. I worked super hard, and after graduation, I moved to Seattle to actually work for Boeing. So, that dream came true. But what happened, and I'm sure, some of you can relate to this, this is actually how I felt. And all of these are actually screenshots from my Instagram. You can see I was doing engineering work back here, and I captioned it Monday Feels with this little sadness doll there. And it captures exactly how I felt. I was really unfulfilled, and I felt like everything I had worked for until that moment was just like a big lie, right? I thought that I would work really hard, get an engineering degree, and then I'd be super happy, and I was doing the work that I thought I would enjoy doing. But this wasn't true, and I'm sure some of you can relate. Just on the front of being unfulfilled in your current career, right? Like, how many of you actually feel this way when you go to work, whatever it is that you currently do? So I quit my job and I packed my car and I drove back to Florida. And I don't really recommend any of you do this right now, but at this point, when I'm telling my story, people usually ask, so wait, are you saying I should quit my job without a plan and just figure it out? Absolutely not, right? You have to make sure you have a plan in place. You have to make sure that you can, support yourself, your family, whoever it is that, you're supporting. I do not recommend just kind of going out and, throwing everything away and doing kind of what I did, which is pretty reckless back then. But I'm thankful that, I took a leap of faith and kind of moved back home. So what followed was a couple of months of me trying to figure out what I should do with my life. And one late night, and I'm sure some of you can relate with this, I was on YouTube and I wasn't actually searching what can I do with my life, but I was searching, I don't even remember what I was watching, and I landed on a video of like, what is UX? What is user experience? And it all clicked, right? In that moment, I realized that was exactly what I wanted to do, right? It was mixing some of my creative skills and passions with a little bit of a technical, logical flow of how people do the things that they do, right? So I spent a couple of months trying to figure out how to learn UX. I was watching a bunch of videos, subscribing to cheap courses, begging people to let me do work for them, even though I wasn't even sure at that point what I was going to do for them. So this was a couple of months of me just kind of like drowning, trying to figure out how can I switch careers? What do I need to do? And, these are some of the things that I explored, which I'm sure you all are familiar with, right? Like Coursera courses and learning UX design for free on YouTube. I think this might be Udemy as well. And then there were these just like insanely expensive courses that are like literally $15,000, which is where the title of this webinar comes from, that I just could not afford at the time. I had just quit my job. I had no money. I was living actually on a friend's couch. I never even made it all the way down south in Florida to my parents' house. So there was no way that I was going to be able to, to be able to afford that much money. And I knew in that moment that I had to figure out exactly what I needed to do to become a UX designer and how I could do this without paying so much money, right? I knew for sure that there was no way I could pay $15,000. So I spent a couple of months really trying to figure that out. And I landed on a couple of things, right? I knew that I needed a really good curriculum, right? I needed to figure out exactly what I needed to learn and nothing more, right? I couldn't waste my time learning more than what I actually needed to learn. I had to do it quick, right? I didn't have a year or 2 years or 3 years to teach myself this stuff. I had to get a job, right? I had to be able to provide for myself, get myself an apartment, start kind of living my life. And I knew that I needed mentorship. So from a lot of research, I knew that it was important for me to be grounded to actually somebody that's a designer and understands what is needed in the real world rather than, me just learning from random people online. Like I needed somebody to talk to that was going to give me real-time feedback. So those were like the three things that I realized after a couple months, like, okay, if I can figure these three things out, I'm golden, right? Like I can, get that job. So eventually working through that framework, I was able to accomplish exactly what I wanted, right? I landed my first job at a startup accelerator. I then went to work at IBM. And now I'm at another company where I'm leading a team of designers and creatives. And this is a picture of us during the holidays last year, actually. And not only did this framework help me accomplish what I wanted, but I was finally happy and being fulfilled. And it was just a huge difference from that first job that I showed you all from Boeing to now, this job where I truly enjoy what I'm doing and I'm super passionate about it. So in 5 years in the UX field, I've gone from knowing nothing at all about UX, right, which may be where you are at right now, to being a junior designer, then a senior designer, and now a manager leading teams. So I'm not saying all of you will be able to do that in 5 years, but it's possible. Like I am living proof that you can come from a completely unrelated career and really like make something of yourself in this field. And it's a field that really allows for you to do that because you don't need a college degree in UX design. You don't need a master's degree in UX design. You can do this, on your own without spending so much money. So at this point, I've worked for some well-known companies. I showed you all the logos earlier, and I've led a large teams of designers. And this is me now, right? I drive my dream car. I bought myself a Tesla last year. I've been traveling to amazing places. And most importantly, I'm super happy doing what I do, which is being a UX designer. These are a bunch of pictures of me and my team over the last 2 years, doing some activities, some workout challenges, traveling for work. So yeah, this is a little bit about my story. And not only that, but I've been mentoring people like you using this exact same framework that are looking to switch into the field for the last 3 years. And I'm helping them accomplish the same exact thing. So now that I've told you my story, right, and hopefully that wasn't too fast. Now that I've told you my story, can you imagine what it would be like for you when you're truly happy and fulfilled, right? When you become a UX designer, right? So how amazing will it be when you can become a UX designer without spending this crazy amount of money that these schools are asking you to spend, right? So today I want to focus on just one thing, right? And that is how you can break into the UX industry without paying $15,000. How can you become a UX designer without spending years and lots of money to do that? So for that, I'm going to share with you 3 secrets that I found are critical to accomplish just one thing. And these are the 3 secrets, okay? Secret number 1, how to learn UX design without a master's degree. So over the last couple months, I've mentored over 100 new people. And all of you ask me the same questions. Should I get a master's degree? Should I get a master's degree? You do not need a master's degree. You can learn UX design without a master's degree, and I'll go through how to do that. Secret number 2, how to land a UX job without real experience. So, another question that I get, right, is how can I get a UX job if I don't have an internship, if I don't have, I've never done UX work before. So I'll show you how to do that. And then secret number 3, how to learn the basics of UX in under 2 months. So if you don't have the time, if you don't have, if you think this is going to take a long time, that's not true, right? I can help you learn UX design in under 2 months. So let's jump into the first secret, how to learn UX design without a master's degree. So I'll tell you a little bit about my path, right? I just told you, but I did not get a master's degree in UX design, right? That's almost like new degrees that are coming out this year. And over the past, 5-10 years, these degrees did not exist. I work with a lot of designers. I think maybe 1 out of 100 some designers has a master's degree. It is not a requirement to get a job, and it is not a requirement to learn UX design. So let's talk about, how to learn UX design without a master's degree. So here's the framework, right? How to become a UX designer. Step 1, learn the basics. Step 2, build a portfolio. And step 3, work on your communication skills. So I know that earlier, I talked to you about the framework that I use, and, I had the 3 icons and all that to become a UX designer. But now I want you to, take out your pen and paper and take notes, because I'm really going to walk you through this framework and what you need to do that. So step 1 here, learning the basics, right? You do not need to know absolutely everything there is to know about UX design. UX design is a job that you can learn by doing once you have a job. What you need to know to get that first junior level role is learn the basics, right? Learn the design process, learn how to perform some of the activities, learn how to communicate the deliverables, and, just learn some of the vocabulary, right? And if you know the basics, the vocabulary, you'll be okay, because as a junior designer, you're not expected to be an expert in user experience. You're expected to be a junior designer, right? Exactly what it is that you're applying for. So what you want to do is just learn the basics. Don't get caught up in learning, the 600 methods to do user research, tree jack testing and card sorting and all of this stuff. You don't need to know how to do every single one of those. You need to know that they exist. You need to know that they're research methods, but you don't need to go and be an expert in all of these. So focus on the basics, right? Find yourself a curriculum that just has exactly what you need and nothing more. So you're not taking an insane amount of time to do that. So the second thing is building a portfolio. Interviewing a lot of people and hiring people for my teams, I found that the most important thing is the portfolio. So we're not, right? I look at your resume and I'm like, okay, this person has some work experience, they've had a job, they have some college degree, they've done these things. And then I find your portfolio link and I go into your portfolio. Your portfolio tells me how you think. It tells me how you solve problems. I'm not hiring you to solve that exact problem that you have in your portfolio. I'm hiring your brain to help me solve new problems. So your portfolio is so important. So as you're learning UX design, you really want to focus on building your portfolio, and you don't want to do these 2 activities separately. You want to make sure that you're doing them together. So you're learning the curriculum, and as you're learning, you're doing, and you're building out your portfolio. So by the time that you're done learning, you have a portfolio you can use to apply for jobs. And the third thing you want to do, the third step, is work on your communication skills. So you want to be able to explain to people what those skills, what the work that you've done is, how you do work, how you think. And this comes through when you're interviewing. This comes through as you're working through things and explaining them to your mentors. So this is super important, right? Practice presenting your work. So let me tell you a little bit about one of my students, Gavin. So Gavin, this is him in a picture of his wife and their dog. Gavin started with me a couple of months ago, and very recently we got him a job doing freelance work for some, additional freelance work that I do, and he's making a very high hourly rate. He knew absolutely nothing about UX design when he started, and now he's one of our clients' favorite designers on the team. So, it's doable. A lot of people are doing this, and that's really by just like learning the basics, building a portfolio, and then being able to explain the work that you do. You'll be able to, get that job, and there's no need for a master's degree. So now that we've talked about the first secret, let's talk about the second secret: how to land a job without real UX experience, right? So everyone thinks that you need real experience to get a job, right? And by real experience, I mean working for a client or working for a company. And while that may help your chances, it's absolutely not true, right? It's not required. And I can tell you a little bit about my first job, right? I landed a job because I built out my portfolio. So I built out my portfolio with a bunch of problems that I picked from the world around me, and I had zero experience of real work, right? I was just picking problems around me. I was explaining my process, and then I just applied to a lot of jobs, right? And with that portfolio that I mentioned in the last secret, I was able to get a job. So let's go through how to land a job without real experience, and I'll kind of explain that to you. So the first step is explaining your process. The second step is applying to a lot of jobs. And the third step is presentation skills. So explain your process. When you're building out your portfolio, I don't want to see just, hey, here's the problem and here's my final screens, right? That is not the way to do it. When you do that, I can only decide to hire you if I'm hiring you to solve that same problem, because I see you've solved it before. But I don't understand how you think. I don't understand your process. I don't understand why you've made certain decisions. So I'm not going to hire you because I don't understand like how your brain works and if you can help me solve different problems. So you want to make sure that in your portfolio, you're explaining your process. Hey, I tried these 3 different setups for a menu bar, and I decided to go with this one because I tested it, or because research shows that this type of menu is more important. So really explain your process. It's super critical, super important. Step number 2, apply to a lot of jobs. I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me like, hey, Maka, I have, been trying to get a UX job for a couple months now, and I haven't been able to get any interviews. I haven't been able to get a job. And as soon as I ask them, hey, how many jobs have you applied to? And they're like, a lot. And I'm like, okay, but what's a lot to you? And they say, I've applied to, 20, 30 jobs and over the last 3 months. That is not enough, right? You need to apply to 10 jobs a day for a month or 2, right? And that way, it's a numbers game. If you have a good portfolio, you're applying to a lot of jobs, then you're able to start getting those interviews, right? And then once you have those interviews, going to the third step, practice your presentation skills, right? You're going to have a couple of interviews. They may not go too well. And then once you have those interviews skills and your presentation skills ready, your interviews are going to start going better, and eventually you'll get that job. So let's move into the third secret: how to learn the basics of UX in under 2 months. So I hear, I don't have time. I can't quit my job. I don't have a year or 2 years to do some of these long programs, and that's okay, right? I'm going to show you how to learn the basics of UX in under 2 months. So the framework to learn the basics is the following: follow a curriculum, apply what you learn, and receive feedback. So what do I mean by that? Follow a curriculum is make sure you're not just, on YouTube searching random topics and like trying to learn a little bit at a time in these random fields, right? You want to make sure that you have a set curriculum that is proven, that is proven to get people to learn the basics. So find a curriculum, hey, you need to learn research, you need to learn wireframing, you need to learn UI design, what it is that you need to learn, what are the things inside of it, and follow it, right? That could be buying a course, that could be finding a free curriculum, but you need to have a plan and you need to follow that plan, right? Step 2, you need to apply what you learn. You can't just like watch videos and watch videos and watch videos and then think that you're like learning what you're watching. You need to actually do it yourself. So this is a mistake that I made when I was starting. I spent about a month just watching videos and I thought, oh, great, like I know how to do interviews because I've watched 20 videos of interviews, and that's not it, right? Like I only learned what mistakes not to make interviewing when I started interviewing people. So just watching videos, just doing courses and not doing any of the work yourself is not going to help you learn the basics quick. You want to apply what you learn, you want to make mistakes, and you want to learn from those mistakes. And then step 3, you want to receive feedback, right? You want to make sure that you are course correcting as you go along. You don't want to apply what you learn incorrectly multiple times and then not course correct and not learn from it. So you want to make sure you have a mentor. You want to make sure you have somebody that can check the work that you're doing, a professional that will then give you feedback so you can then tweak what you're doing to learn in the correct way. So I know that was a lot, but here again, one more time, the 3 secrets: how to learn UX design without a master's degree, how to land a UX job without real experience, and how to learn the basics of UX in under 2 months. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, right? So I know that the last 15 minutes have been fun and a lot of information, but some of you may feel super overwhelmed, and I totally get that. And I put together a special package, and this is a way for you guys to implement everything I've just shared with you over the next 6 weeks. And I wanted to ask you guys for permission to see if it's okay to share this with you. So is that okay with everybody for me to just kind of go through and show you what I put together to help you kind of implement these 3 secrets? Okay, cool. So what I have is Avo Academy UX Design Introduction course. And in this course, you have all of the things that we've just talked about, right? You have a 6-week boot camp, so that's a month and a half, content, activities, unlimited mentorship. And with this product, you'll be able to become a UX designer in 6 weeks without paying crazy amounts of money, right? So this has a proven curriculum. This has unlimited mentorship. This has all of the activities so you can learn by doing. And when I was figuring this stuff out, I ran into a big roadblock. And I didn't know, right, when I was trying to learn UX, I didn't know what information was crucial for me to learn and what I didn't need to know at that time to get that first junior role. So I had to create this curriculum for myself, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. And way back, I had to spend thousands of dollars and months to figure out an efficient way to handle this problem. But I don't want you to have to do the same. I don't want you to have to recreate the wheel. And I've already gotten proven results, and I'm just going to give them to you with this package. Does that sound good with everybody? Cool. So again, like I said, right, with this program, you'll be able to learn UX design in 6 weeks. There's a lot of activities. It's self-paced. You can do it before work, after work, on the weekends. There's no live lessons. What there is videos you can watch, resources you can read, and then you can schedule as many mentor sessions at your best availability with me to be able to learn the UX design process. So what you're going to get, right, with this package, you're going to get the Avo Academy UX Design Intro course, That's a $2,497 value. So if you go onto my website right now, that's how much it would cost you to buy this course. You're going to get unlimited mentoring for 6 weeks. So that's a $1,497 dollar value. Sorry, that's a typo. It is a unlimited mentoring for 6 weeks. It is a $3,497 value. So with the course, you'll get to talk to me for 6 weeks, as many times as you want per week, to walk through the program, to answer questions about the activities you do, to receive feedback. All of that is included in this package. So you want to talk to me once a day, you want to text me, you want to email me, you want to schedule a call, you can do it. You can talk to me as many times as you want in a day. So on top of that, you're going to get the Avocademy UX Design Intro course, unlimited mentoring for 6 weeks, and the Avocademy Job Search module. So the Job Search module, that actually helps you. Remember how I said you need to apply to a lot of jobs? How many do you need to apply per day? How do you interview? How do you present your work, right? So that's all included in the Avocademy Job Search module. On top of that, you're going to get the Avocademy UX Design Intro course, unlimited mentoring, the Avocademy Job Search module, and the portfolio module. So that's a total value of $9,488. So it's almost $10,000. And the portfolio module, very quickly, that is entirely how do you not only create your portfolio, because you learn how to do that in the Avocademy UX Design Intro course. You end up with a portfolio and a final project. But the portfolio module helps you, as you build out additional projects, really work through, what do I need to have on there? What do I not need to have on there? What is a person looking for, a hiring manager looking for when they're looking through the portfolio? All of that information, which is, a total value of almost $10,000. So now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you $10,000, but if I did charge you, $9,488, and all it did was help you learn UX design without getting a master's degree, would this be worth it, right? So think about that. Would it be worth it if you could get a design job, switch careers for $9,488, right? Would this be worth it if all it did was help you change careers without already having UX experience, right? Would it be worth $9,488? If all it did was help you be fulfilled in a career without spending years and tens of thousands of dollars, would $9,000 be worth it, right? So think about that. And I had two choices, right? So the first option was to go cheap and try to sell as many of these as possible and not really spend one-on-one time with you all. My second option required a little bit more investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources and guarantee your success, right? I was able to add the job search module, the portfolio module, the unlimited mentoring, all of those resources on here. And the real question, right? If you could successfully become a UX designer, what would this be worth to you, right? How much would you pay right now to have a proven way to change your career? You can see probably why people pay $15,000 for similar results, right? All those courses. Because it's not a cost, it's an investment to yourself, right? So you've already seen this and how it's worth $9,488. And even at, $2,497, which I charge the public, it's still a great deal. But today I'm going to give you a very special offer for $1,497, right? And you can go on this link, avocademy.com/special, and you can go and book this right now. So now you have two choices, right? You can choose to do nothing. And if you do nothing with the information you've learned, over the last 20 some minutes, what will you get? Nothing, right? Or you can choose to take a leap of faith, just test it out, see if it works for you. And what do you get then? You can change your career. You can be fulfilled. You can be happy, right? You can finally do this thing you've been wanting to do. And if it doesn't work out for you, no worries. You have 7 days to get your money back. You can check out the course and see if it's for you. And if not, you have nothing to lose. We'll just refund you your money. So once again, what are you going to get? Avocademy UX Design Intro course, unlimited mentoring for 6 weeks, a job search module, portfolio module, all total value of almost $10,000 for $1,497. and the space is limited, right? I do not take 100 students at a time. I only take 10 students a month. So go ahead and check that out. Sign up so that you don't have to, wait months in advance. Once it's booked, I close the course and I don't open it for a couple months until I have some more space for new students. And if you order within the next 30 minutes, you'll receive a customized plan. So we'll kind of get on the phone and just walk through exactly what you're trying to accomplish, what you've done before, and kind of go through like a week by week plan of how we can help you, right? If you already have a portfolio, or if you don't have a portfolio, how we can really get you, going and support you through this journey. So again, avocademy.com/special. So anyway, so I said 30 minutes. So, we have the timer running here. If you book that, you'll get, the special one-on-one plan that we'll put together. Again, you're going to get the Avocademy UX intro course, unlimited mentoring for 6 weeks, the job search module, and the portfolio module only for $14.97, right? Almost $10,000 value. So that's avocademy.com/special. So what do I need to know to complete this course, right? I'll go through some of these questions that I usually get when I'm walking through this information. And the first thing is, what do I need to know to complete this course? Are there any requirements? And there are no requirements. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to have any special software. You don't need to have a Mac. You can have a Windows computer. That's fine. This takes you literally from not knowing anything to becoming a UX designer. It teaches you all the basics. The first module is, what is UX design, right? So very, very basic. Another question that I get a lot is, do I need to learn how to code? Absolutely not. UX designers do not need to learn how to code. There are some courses out there that teach you, how to code, but it's not an absolute requirement. So, what are some other questions? So aside from that, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. There'll be a link as to like how you can schedule a call with me if you want on this, landing page. If not, go ahead and buy the course. Like I said, there's a 7-day guarantee. We'll just return you your money if you, do not want to jump into this. But it's so worth it, right? I went through such hard time to try and figure this out. And now I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. I do a job that I love, and I'm trying to help other people like you do the same. So, yeah. So, next 27 minutes, timer's, rolling. Make sure to go ahead and buy it now. Otherwise, you'll lose that special offer, and this won't be going on. I think this special will last maybe one more day. So make sure you go ahead, avocademy.com/special. Check out that site, check out the package, and I hope to see you on the other side so I can help you become a UX designer.